to do with the brine. Interesting. Okie dokie. Yay, LA again, SML. What's up, SML? Can you see me? Can you guys hear me okay? Are we coming in loud and clear? Back in the studio, that's right. Back with Kevin. Hey, did you miss us?
Hey guys, so because they had changed control rooms, may not have the pre-fade thing up.
Okay.
So if you need to talk to them, go full screen.
Got it.
I'll try to go with something.
We need to talk to, okay, yeah, got it. We'll go full screen. Okay. Full iPad. All right. Guys, how's it going? What's the latest? I've been pretty good. Hi. Oh, no. What? This isn't Kornacki unsubscribing. Hi. You know how this goes. I'm not the Kornak. But I think Kornacki might be around tomorrow. It's going to be a primary day. We have a big primary out there in Michigan and a bunch of other places. Get any souvenirs? Yeah, a cold, like whooping cough or whatever I picked up in New York that was not very fun and still is haunting me. And we're going to see how it goes. But we got Sean in the control room. He is going to be riding that mute button like crazy. So hopefully the TV audience doesn't hear the cough. If you guys hear the cough, sorry about it. Chiron, iFootball Club from Hong Kong. Very cool. Monkey Beast, you got a lot to talk about. We do. We really do. I got to say, like coming back into the news after not watching the news for a little while, whoa. It's crazy stuff. But you know what? Maybe we'll figure it out in the end. Tour of the new set, please, SML. Okay. Max, where do you live again? You're in Michigan, right? Is it Michigan? At work right now, but I'll pull up with my crew for your next stream. Add me up on Discord. I can't tell you guys what my username is on Discord. Discord is where I game with my bros. Let's see, tour of the new set. Okay, so remember how it had windows before? It doesn't have windows now. Now it's got this flat monitor. It's a big deal, but it's kind of like the same thing that we've got in New York. And then we've got this area over here, big walls. We got Levon over there on the Ronin. Say hi, Levon. There he is. And then we still got this. And then we got some, I think some wooden slats. What are we going for, like a mid-century mod look over here? I guess. We'll see how that looks. You guys let me know what you think. In Michigan, that's right, I knew it. Max, how's it going? No getting sick. Too late, Monkey Beast. I got sick like 3 weeks ago and I still can't kick it. But we're gonna be double fisting tonight. 1, 2. Camera 1, camera 2. I do. We're having some gremlins right now with the control room out there in New York. So we're gonna see how everything comes together. We've had some issues with audio, with feeds, prompter, with backgrounds, but you know what? I think they're all worked out, so hopefully you guys will not see anything when we go to air. Should be very, very fun. That's right, NBC News Now in 7 minutes, 8 minutes-ish. We're going to be starting here, and we're going to be starting with what's happening in Spokane, which is absolutely, again, staggering. Yep. Sure. Hey there, I'm Gotti Schwartz. We start tonight with the wildfire emergency exploding across Washington state. Right now, 17 major fires are burning across the state, scorching more than 260,000 acres of land, forcing so many from their homes. But Spokane is taking the hardest. Okay, thanks. And Sean, this cough is still driving me nuts. So I will try to, if I have an emergency, I'll do my little. If I need a new integrator, reach out to Key Code Media. Okay, cool. What is an integrator again? Sorry. Great, I just got back from the Washington Journalism and Media Conference 2 weeks ago. How was it? Oh, I learned that the reason that soda pop burns is because it triggers the same receptors as horseradish and spicy mustard. Ew, I didn't know that. Boston, what is this emergency signal for a cough emergency? You want to know all my signals? Okay, so this is P. That means like something's going on with prompter. It's not a gang sign. This is advance. This is where, what's next, where to next, like what's on deck, where are we headed? Let's see. I think those are the ones that I use a lot. Conference is great. That's awesome. Peter Alexander is amazing. Wish him the best over at State of Play. Should be very fun. Let's see. Did I like the Spider-Man movie? I haven't seen it, but most of my team saw it. What did you think of it? Man, I had a crazy day a crazy weekend at the box office. Holy smokes. Yeah, stay tuned, gang signs. Prompter gang signs. Chiron, sneeze. You know how bad it is to have a cough in the summer? Like coughs in the winter, they're kind of cozy. Not in the summer. They're miserable, even more miserable. But Adson, I want to know, Adson, is the movie good? Ah, you didn't watch either. All right. I'm in my like Toy Story 5 era. Not gonna lie, I'm so behind on movies. All right, you guys want to know what's coming up today? First, we're gonna be going out to Washington, where again we're seeing fires that are, you know, devastating communities, just like we saw here in January in Los Angeles, and they are. I mean, I think it's it's tens of thousands of people that have been evacuated right now. So Morgan Chesky's out there. We're going to be checking in with him. Then we're going to be going to the latest with this parasitic outbreak. It's killed 2 people now in Michigan. I think they've got 11,000 cases. Cyclospora. So, then we're going to be touching base with, let's see, who is this? That's Matt Bradley. Okay, so that's Matt Bradley. He's going to be talking to us about the future of warfare when it comes to autonomous systems and kinds of stuff. Then we're going to be talking to, I believe, let's see. Oh no, I'm in the wrong project here. This computer is over on the old side. We got to get it over to the new side. Is it in NBC News now? What's the directory tree? Todd, are you there? Is it? Okay, News Now Day, right? I think I found it. Yeah. Got it, found it. Okay. Got it, good to go. We're up and loading. Okay, we're off to the races. I don't think it's a cold. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, it is a cough that just will not quit. I haven't felt bad, but I just cough like incessantly. At first, we were in New York, and I thought it was because of like the air quality, but then air quality cleared up and the cough persisted. So I am trying not to go to the doctor because, you know, we chat with Dr. Akshay Sai all the time. Like, why do we even need to go to the doctor? But I should probably go to the doctor because it's getting out of control.
Copy sharp position.
Speaking of which, I think we're going to be talking to Akshay today about Cyclospora and what we should do to continue to eat salads, because they're an important part of our meals. Nowhere to go. No. Yep, Colorado, Spokane. It's orange outside. Green, where do you live? All right, guys, I'm just going to take a hit of this honey.
You blocked it. There we go.
Hopefully it suppresses the cough for the first part of the show. Okay.
90 seconds, we'll be back here at position G.
90 seconds. I just need my throat to work for just a little while. Ha. Yeah. Yes. And he'll laugh. He will laugh for sure. All right, 90 seconds. We're going to start over here. 1 minute out.
Right there on the G spot, sir, please.
Hey, Sean, we should maybe tomorrow start the open from that side, just to play with it.
I don't know if he heard you was talking to somebody.
Okay. Oh. Hey, so we're 40 seconds from the show. If you guys are just tuning in, we are about to do the news. Hey there, I'm Gotti Schwartz, and tonight we are starting with a wildfire emergency exploding across Washington state. Right now, 17 major fires are burning across the state, scorching more than 260,000 acres of land. It's forcing so many people from their homes. And Spokane, it is Spokane that is getting the hardest hit, with 3 fires right now ripping through neighborhoods, leaving behind a path of destruction. 65,000 people have been ordered to evacuate, and about 700 structures have so far been destroyed. And the fires right now are 0% contained. One man coming back to his home of 26 years and finding this. Then a day after that, this is the aftermath. This is his home gone, burned down to nothing. He is not alone here. Entire neighborhoods now feeling the devastation. You can see some of the damage here. Charred trees, burned out cars, homes reduced to ashes. Now, thousands of firefighters, along with more than 300 Washington National Guard members, are battling to try to get those fires under control. Let's bring in Morgan Chesky, who's been following this story for us from Spokane, Washington. Morgan?
Yeah, Gotti, you see the videos, but to stand here in this Spokane neighborhood in person and just see home after home reduced to absolute rubble, it is frightening to think about the speed of the flames that tore through this area on Saturday as a result of this one of 3 fires that now makes up this Spokane complex blaze. And we know right now that more than 5,000 structures have burned, and authorities only had about 2 to 3 hours, Gotti, to evacuate roughly 60,000 people, getting them out of harm's way. And that, if there is any silver lining here, it's the fact that authorities say that people listened, and there are currently no reports of any injuries or fatalities. But you can see just one home after another. The family made it out, the car stayed, and if we can just push in here a little bit, you're going to see one of the biggest concerns right now, Gotti, and that is those embers burning beneath that level of ash. Potential hotspots, potential opportunity for a reignition. And that is why when we heard the Spokane mayor earlier today, when asked when can people return to these hard-hit neighborhoods, she had to break the news to them that she does not know. It could be days, it could be weeks, because they have to be so incredibly certain that there is no more fire risk in this immediate area because of not only the abundance of dry fuel, but also the conditions here. We have temperatures that are at least 80, if not hotter, in the days ahead. And we know that on Saturday, the wind gusts anywhere from 30, 40, maybe even 50 miles an hour. One gentleman who lost his home said he could feel that wind, and it was like pouring gasoline onto the fire. And if the flames were pushed uphill, and it burned down the home that he and his wife had raised their family in for the past 27 years. We still don't know the origin of this fire, but when you look across the street, you can see just the scope of the devastation left behind. In the distance, those homes are still standing. We know that in some cases, crews are able to have a defensible area and protect them. In other areas, we've seen entire streets covered in that telltale pink fire retardant that saved a lot of homes. However, right now, there is little to no containment on any of these three blazes burning in and around Spokane. And that is why there is a real feeling of uneasiness tonight, knowing the conditions in the days ahead, and also knowing that the fire crews out on the front lines are having to deal with incredibly tough geography, deep ravines, hilly areas, heavy woods, making this firefight even harder. Gotti.
Morgan Chesky, thank you. And tonight we can confirm the first 2 deaths here in the United States linked to this awful stomach bug known as cyclospora. Now, this happened in Michigan, according to health officials there. We don't know their names right now, but we do know that both people had, quote, significant underlying health conditions. So far, more than 11,000 cases have been confirmed in that state. Nearly 200 people have been hospitalized because of it. And the outbreaks in Michigan and 9 other states have been linked to lettuce from Taylor Farms, possibly, where there's now a recall of their iceberg lettuce supplied from Mexico. Let's bring in NBC's Dr. Akshay Syal to explain a little bit more about this. So, Doctor, 2 deaths now. That sounds extremely alarming. How rare is this, and should we be super concerned?
You know, our condolences to the families involved, Gotti. But fortunately, you know, deaths from cyclospora, or the parasite diarrhea that people may have heard of by now, are quite rare. We're talking about 11,000 confirmed cases in Michigan alone, probably a lot more than that, given that this isn't something, you know, doctors routinely test for. And now we have unfortunately, two people who have passed to the illness. It's, you know, when people talk about explosive diarrhea as the main symptom, they're probably wondering, you know, how can that possibly take someone's life? Well, if people have underlying health conditions, if they're not sort of feeling so great, they're losing a lot of fluid with the diarrhea, that can start to affect, you know, how much blood flow is in the body. And if there's a decrease in blood flow to your vital organs, your kidneys, your liver, your heart, those organs can start to die off and start to cause problems in the body. Gotti, we have a statement here from the FDA essentially saying, you know, these deaths were after the before the recall of the Taylor Farms Mexico recall on July 17, 2026. But as you mentioned, these individuals had prior health conditions.
Interesting. That timeline says so much, and yet as we're fast forwarding here for the next 2 or 3 weeks or months as this progresses, is it likely that we're going to see more deaths, especially with those who have underlying health conditions?
You know, it wouldn't surprise me, Gotti. You know, in the introduction there, you mentioned how many cases we have, 11,000 just in Michigan, and likely many more, as I was saying earlier, just because this isn't something that we always test for. So with that many cases, we are, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we did have more fatalities due to this. You know, when people have underlying health conditions, whether it be diabetes or kidney disease or heart disease, their body gets harder for them to compensate for the lack of fluid. It can start to affect those vital organs, and eventually people could succumb to this. So it's, you know, unfortunate that we're seeing this, but it's just a reminder of how important it is to sort of fund these food safety programs, as we've talked about.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the greens are such an important part of our diet. I know that a lot of people are kind of skipping lettuce these days over this, but can you give us a fact check on what is safe and what is not, and how to stay on guard and possibly sanitize our salads?
So, you know, these are food safety tips that the Michigan Department of Health has put out, and I would say it's relevant for cyclospora, Gotti. It's also relevant for other foodborne illnesses. You know, we talk about things like salmonella, we talk about things like E. coli, other sorts of pathogens that could be on our food. So, for example, that beautiful lettuce you see on your screen, buy whole heads of lettuce, take out the outer few layers, and then wash the rest of it underwater. If you can, cook those greens to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, bagged spinach versus cooked sautéed spinach. Thoroughly wash those inner leaves. If you have berries, if you have any sort of fruit, things like snap peas, make sure you are cleaning them, whether it's for cyclospora, whether it's for any other sort of illness, foodborne illness. It's just really, really important. You know, a lot of us get sometimes a little bit lax with these food safety measures. So just a reminder of just how important that can be, Gotti.
Yeah, things we should be doing anyway. Dr. Akshay Syal, thank you so much.
Anytime.
And tonight, Todd Blanche is much closer to becoming the next Attorney General after quite a wheel and a deal out in Congress. Here's what we know. 2 Republican holdouts on this confirmation. Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis have now agreed to back him. But there is a big catch. To win that support, Blanche had to scrap Trump's so-called anti-weaponization fund. And here's how the president reacted to the news a little bit earlier today.
I didn't look at it. All I know is that Todd Blanche is great. He's going to do a great job. Everybody knows it. And I understand there's been a sign-off. But I don't know what they agreed. I think Todd Blanche agreed to reconfirm things that he's already said. And what he said was okay.
And NBC's Gabe Gutierrez joins us now from the White House. Gabe, so the president gave that sort of vague answer, but the whole pulling back that $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, that's in writing, right? Like signed by Blanche. How legally binding is that?
Well, Gotti, it's binding enough, at least for the 2 senators, the Republican holdouts, Cornyn and Tillis, that felt that having that in writing, something that they have been asking Todd Blanche for, having that in writing, they feel is enough to get them to support Todd Blanche. Now, the president, as you just heard, he is still defending this anti-weaponization fund. The president's lawyers are also still appealing the case where a judge threw that out. So there's still a lot of questions about whether it could be revived. However, Todd Blanche, under oath, insisted it's not moving forward. It is now in writing, although there might not be anything from preventing the DOJ from making settlements with individual people that they feel have been targeted by the Biden Justice Department, including potentially people who attacked the Capitol and were convicted of it on January 6th. So Democrats are still trying to argue that what Todd Blanche is promising in that written order is not enough. However, it now appears for these senators that it is enough, that they will vote tomorrow during the Senate Judiciary Committee meeting to advance this nomination, and then it will go before the full Senate. Got it.
And then it goes before the full Senate. Any other possible hurdles that we could see when it goes down to the floor?
Well, look, at this point, the biggest hurdle were Cornyn and Tillis. Now that he's passed that hurdle, it does appear that his nomination is back on track. He'll need 50 votes, though. Republicans do hold majority, of course, in the Senate. Still, though, there might be some lingering questions about tax immunity for the Trump family. Blanche clarified that this settlement had meant that there was, past financial transactions could not be audited, but that this settlement had been retroactive, that it did not mean that the Trump family and his businesses had full-on immunity moving forward. That, again, seems to have appeased Cornyn and Tillis. And at the moment now, it appears that was the biggest hurdle, and he does appear now to have a clear path towards being confirmed. Got it.
And Gabe, we were watching the press conference with the president a little bit earlier, and he spent a whole lot of time going off on the reflecting pool again. What's the latest there?
Well, look, he was asked about that. This has been kind of an about-face that happened on Friday. Surprised that the U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, had all of a sudden dropped the charges against that former Olympian that had been accused of vandalizing the reflecting pool. Pirro and her team now blaming a faulty installation rather than vandalism, going directly against what President Trump not only had previously said, but what he continues to say. He was asked about his relationship with Pirro today. Listen to what he said a short time ago, a couple hours ago, in the Oval Office.
Jeanine Pirro made a mistake. It was vandalism. Frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked. I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro, really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella.
So So this is some certainly very strong words there, Gotti, that she choked, that she folded like an umbrella. And Gotti, she was actually spotted here at the White House following those remarks for a meeting. Now, it's unclear exactly what the meeting was about, but she left, and now there are very real questions about whether her job is in jeopardy. She's a longtime ally of the president, has known him for decades, and of course, she's a former Fox News host. He did not answer a question about her future, whether he was reconsidering her role during his remarks to reporters in the Oval Office. And so far tonight, she has not commented. But there are certainly a lot of questions about Jeanine Pirro's future at this point, Gotti.
Yeah, that video showing her walking out with what looks like a box. You know, lawyers, a lot of times they have case files. What that box was full of, we don't know. Gabe Gutierrez at the White House. Gabe, thanks. Meanwhile, in Iran, President Trump insists that negotiations are ongoing, while it seems Iran is just as adamant that they are not. Here's NBC's Keir Simmons with the latest from the Middle East.
Tonight, President Trump insisting the threat of a massive U.S. strike has Iran back at the negotiating table.
They called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal.
The price of oil plunging on the news, despite continued Iranian attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz through the weekend. Iran previously broke a ceasefire it signed in June, saying it would not attack those ships. But now the president saying the vital shipping lane could be open as soon as tomorrow.
We're talking about the strait, the opening of the strait, having it open literally by tomorrow, completely open. And that's phase one. The denuclearization of Iran has to happen, and that'll be the second phase.
Iran is denying any talks with the US are happening, all as President Trump pulls back from massive strikes he said would involve Israel. Tonight, he is warning Iran again to make a deal, calling this their last chance.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next. NBC's Keir Simmons, thank you. Meanwhile, we are just learning the names of 2 of the 3 people killed in that shooting at an In-N-Out burger in Idaho over the weekend. Family and friends have identified 23-year-old Ashley Garibay and 59-year-old Christopher Clonch as victims in the shooting, and it comes as police are still searching for some sort of motive. That also hurt 7 others in that shooting. Police have identified the shooter as 24-year-old Chad Williams and say he died after shooting himself. The In-N-Out had just opened about a week ago, and hundreds of people were in that busy shopping plaza when the shooting happened. Videos showing just how chaotic that scene was.
What's happening? What happened? What's happening?
Shoot, shoot.
Shoot. Go. Just go. Go, go, go. My gosh.
Today, police are praising the actions of 2 people, calling them heroes for slowing the shooter down. One video showing a man returning fire with his own gun, a move investigators say helped save lives. Let's get out to NBC's Dana Griffin, who's in Twin Falls, Idaho. Dana, let's start with the victims here in this horrible shooting. What more are we learning tonight?
Yeah, so Gotti, we're learning their names, as you mentioned, Ashley Garibay and Christopher Clonch. Their families confirming their identities. Ashley's mom is heading here to Twin Falls, and Christopher Clonch, a spokesperson, says that he had a really big heart. We've also heard from the family of Terry Dudley. He was sitting in a Tesla not too far from this In-N-Out. His son tells me that he was shot in the back of the neck. He had to be intubated. He is still in the hospital. So out of those 7 people who were injured, the survivors, 5 remain hospitalized. 2 are in critical condition. We've also heard from the president and owner of In-N-Out, Lindsay Snyder. She wrote a statement about the employee she says was among those killed. She writes, "She was taking care of our most important asset, our customers, and her life was taken by a disgusting human who doesn't value the lives of others or his own." And as you mentioned, law enforcement confirmed that the suspect in this case did die by suicide. Gotti.
He died by suicide, and yet, you know, during that shooting, he had to pull back because people that came to try to help, right? One of those people opening fire with his own gun, those 2 people that police are calling heroes. How did they make a difference, and exactly what did they do?
So investigators are crediting them with saving lives, because I want to show you behind me. This is the drive-through where that exchange all unfolded. You can see there's plywood on the window. That's where witnesses say the shooter was firing into the restaurant. He was also firing from a vehicle that was parked here in this parking or in this drive-through. We know that one of the Good Samaritans returned fire. He had a handgun, and then officers, police verified that there was an off-duty state trooper who also returned fire. That forced the gunman from this drive-through, and as you can see, there's a security guard walking the property. He then fled this way and was forced out of the area away from most of the customers that were trying to flee in the opposite direction. I spoke with the man who was in his car. He witnessed the shooting. He's the one that actually captured it on video. Listen to part of our exchange. Is he a hero?
Yeah, I would say he definitely distracted the shooter from shooting more people. I mean, there's quite a bit there that he was focused. The shooter was solely focused on him, and it allowed us to get out. I mean, the car directly ahead of me was getting shot. It gave them time to leave.
And right now, the Idaho Statesman, a local newspaper here, has actually identified the shooter, or excuse me, has identified one of the Good Samaritans that helped to stop the gunman. His name is Jordan Salinas, according to this paper. And they write in the article that during that exchange of gunfire, Salinas went on to say that he did not like it, referring to the shooter, he did not like it when bullets started firing both ways. And he also went on to say that he felt no fear before, during, or after the firing. Gotti?
Yeah, pretty remarkable. In that article, it talked a little bit about him being a caregiver for his brother and some sort of fear that they might be soft targets. What else do we know about why he was able to be prepared in this way?
Well, according to that article, he knew that, hey, I could potentially be a target in this day and age of mass shootings, unfortunately, in this country. And so he wanted to prepare, he wanted to train, and he said that allowed him to stay focused. So he kind of went through these steps in his mind of stop, take notice of where I am, where are the shots coming from, find the perpetrator, aim and shoot. And he was very calm while doing it. He even dove to take cover as shots were firing toward his direction. As you mentioned, it's all very remarkable. There's still not a motive. At least police have not identified one as to why this gunman opened fire here. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, but we are told that his parents are cooperating with this investigation. Gotti.
Interesting. Dana Griffin, just so glad it wasn't a lot worse, but our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims' families. Dana, thank you. And tonight, investigators are looking into what caused a seaplane to go down in the Bahamas with 10 Americans on board, and those dramatic moments were caught on video. Look at this. And then it only got sketchier from there. You can see a nearby boat rushing in to help, trying to pull some of the passengers from the plane while it was on its side in the water. Then another came over as the plane started to sink with the pilot still on board. Listen to what one of the rescuers had to say.
I said, jump now, get off that boat. And he made it off that plane just in time. As it was rolling, he dove into the water. All souls were saved.
Apparently, the plane might have been trying to change direction while taxiing when it started to veer left and couldn't stop before hitting a dock. And let's bring in George Solis, who's been following this from Jupiter, Florida. George, walk us through what happened here.
Yeah, Gotti, I mean, the video is absolutely incredible, both when you put together what happened during the rescue and that new video that we got inside the cabin from one of the passengers. So this all unfolded Saturday morning. This plane, based on the accounts from some of the witnesses and people on board, it was taxiing. That means it was getting ready to take off. Something happened on board that the captain wanted to avoid some of the marine traffic that was there, ends up veering. The plane inexplicably starts to veer to another direction, eventually comes to contact, essentially collides with a dock. And some of that video that you'll see from inside the cabin, it actually captures the moment that collision occurs. You see the jolt inside of the cabin, and immediately you hear people panicking to a degree. You hear the alarms going off, and then you see people just trying to start getting off of the seaplane itself. And then you transition to what's happening outside. Well, you have Good Samaritans, people that are able to get to the seaplane as quickly as possible, and they begin rescuing all 8 of the passengers plus the pilot and co-pilot that were on board. That's important to note. The seaplane was still upright, but very quickly the plane begins taking on water, which causes, of course, the plane to rotate, giving way. Eventually, it just takes on so much water that it flips over. I mean, the video, again, very dramatic to see, but amazingly, everyone gets off this plane unscathed. But again, just if it wasn't for all of those people that were there at this hour, able to rescue these people, this obviously could have had a much different outcome, Gotti.
Yeah, George, all 10 people making it out is quite the rescue. What are you hearing from those that were there?
Yeah, well, no one seemed to know anything was going wrong, right? This wasn't like a plane that was already in the air. It was taxiing, so it was getting ready to sort of get going here. But when you hear just from the passengers that, you know, they were buckled in, all of a sudden the jolt occurs, they are, of course, frantic. They don't know what's happening here now. They know that they were still on the ground. And, of course, once the boats start to arrive, they try to get to safety as quickly as possible. But this happened so fast. I mean, everyone was able to get off board. Even the luggage made it off. But what we really need to hear from is one of the rescuers who happened to be there and sort of watch this happen in real time. We caught up with one here in Jupiter. Here's what he told me.
I didn't really realize what was going on. I knew that people were panicking, and I just thought the plane was lost power and was drifting. I pull up to the plane, and it's a sound I'll never forget, of the glug, 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 and I said, guys, this plane's going down. We got to get everybody off.
Yeah, can you imagine that, Gotti? Glug, glug, glug. I mean, that is just obviously a haunting sound. So the company that operates the seaplane did give us a statement basically saying that the safety of the crew and the passengers is a priority. They're grateful that everyone is safe. The Bahamian authorities saying they're still investigating what happened here. But again, nothing short of a miracle that all 10 of those souls on board were able to get out safely. Gotti?
Yeah. Fortunately, people were around to help. George Solis, thank you so much. And singer Ariana Grande is planning on taking a step back from the spotlight. Her team saying that she is taking a much-deserved break after wrapping up her Eternal Sunshine tour next month. That announcement comes as fans have raised concerns about her health. It is leaving a lot of them worried. NBC's Chloe Malas has the latest.
Ariana Grande is stepping back from the spotlight amid mounting scrutiny about her weight following the release of a new music video for her song Pedal. Recent images like these sparking concern online. A rep for Grande tells NBC News that after her 41-stop tour ends next month, she will be taking a, quote, much-deserved break from public-facing work and appearances, which has led to endless ongoing public scrutiny. A source close to Grande tells NBC she performs a very physical show healthily, night after night. Grande also pulling out of a London musical scheduled for next summer. The pop star and actress has been in the public eye for decades. First as a child star on Nickelodeon.
You know, I've been kind of doing this in front of the public and kind of been, you know, a specimen in a petri dish really since I was 16 or 17.
She's even asked fans to back off over the years.
I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what.
But the work continues. In November, Grande has another film coming out, Fokker-in-Law, from our sister company Universal. A rep for the actress did not comment on whether or not she will be doing press for the film. Until then, her team's saying Grande hopes to end her tour on a, quote, high note, both healthily and happily. Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Chloe, thank you. And don't go anywhere. Coming up next, some very chilling testimony today from the doctors who treated a mother's children on the day she is accused of killing them. Was this a case of postpartum psychosis? The latest from the court ahead. Plus, delivery is reaching new heights. How a new program is using drones to deliver your medicine. That's later this hour, so stay tuned. Also, if you see this QR code, feel free to scan through with your phone. You can chat with us live. You can let us know your thoughts on the news all hour long. That'll take you behind the scenes, streaming on YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch. Come join us. All right, clear?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. How are we doing on time, Todd? Are we adding anything? Okay, got it. Yeah, I saw it. And that's the only place to boost. Okay, cool. Lou, behind the scenes. That's right. Let's see, what else are you guys talking about? I will hear no mean things about Ariana Grande on this show. So keep it to yourself if you guys have hot takes. Do I like the New York studio or the LA studio better? I like the LA sunshine better, right? Did I dye my hair? What? Did I dye my hair silver? Look at this. Look at this. No, I've not dyed my hair. Should I? I don't know. I like getting older. What are my favorite things about the changes to the studio? I like that wall a lot, and hopefully we can be
1 minute
back over there quite a bit. Maybe in the next couple of days you'll see us switch up from starting from here to over in this little corner, because it definitely feels pretty rich. Thanks, SML. We miss you too. What else? What else? The inside of that plane kind of looks like a minivan. Yeah. I was a big fan of the use of the Insta360, that 360 camera, because you really got a chance to see like how everything was going down in there. Do you guys have 360 cams? I love them. Me too. The colors look, the blacks look a lot sharper in here right now. So I don't know what they did, but it looks great. 15 seconds. All right. Hey, welcome back. Here are some other headlines that we are watching tonight. 7 people, including 3 kids, are dead in Russia after what they say was a deliberate drone attack by Ukraine on civilians at a beach resort. Another 40 people were hurt at the Black Sea resort. Ukraine has not yet commented on what happened. And in Greece, firefighting efforts have turned deadly after 2 helicopters crashed and killed the men that were on board while they were fighting that blaze. The men in a second helicopter, though, they survived, and it's not clear yet what caused the accident, but it's a major setback in Greece's firefighting efforts, as over 200 fires have broken out there in the past week and more than 27,000 acres have burned. And back here in the Bay Area, 4 firefighters were hurt while battling a fire that tore through a condo yesterday afternoon. The firefighters are doing okay. No residents were hurt, fortunately, and officials were checking for hot spots earlier to make sure that that fire is completely out. And there's a new Spider-Man movie out. You might have seen it. It had a huge weekend. In fact, Spider-Man Brand New Day had the biggest domestic opening weekend ever on record. That new Spidey flick has already earned $360 million, surpassing Avengers Endgame record. And Team USA's coach Mauricio Pochettino is staying on for the next World Cup in 2030. The Argentinian 54-year-old led the men's national team to the round of 16 in this year's World Cup. He said there's tremendous potential to make the team even stronger. And in Massachusetts, it is now week 2 of a murder trial for a mother accused of strangling her 3 kids to death. Lindsay Clancy's lawyers are not disputing that she did it, but they say that she was a loving mother who was overtaken by postpartum psychosis. The prosecution, though, is arguing it was intentional and she should be held criminally responsible. Today, the jury heard from several doctors, and we got to warn you that some of what you're about to hear could be disturbing.
And did you ask her about her mood that day?
I did ask her mood.
And what did she write?
She wrote horrified.
And what was her affect during this interaction?
At the time that I saw her, she was intubated, and that in and of itself is very uncomfortable. And so she seemed very anxious.
It's like I'm so desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone that my mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. You recall reviewing that in the journal?
Yes.
NBC's Stephen Romo has more details on what went down.
Yeah, Gotti, kicking things off for the second week of this trial, we heard for the first time from a psychiatrist who treated Lindsay Clancy not long after she made it to the hospital. She still had a breathing tube in at the time whenever she had her first interview with that psychiatrist. Dr. Sejal Shah, testifying that Lindsay was asked what her mood was, and she wrote horrified on a piece of paper since she could not speak. She also asked if she had an attorney and if her body was broken. Of course, she's now using a wheelchair since she was paralyzed from the waist down after jumping from that second-story window back in January of 2023. She also testified that Lindsay was cooperative and honest, and during cross-examination, the defense team really focused on this long list of medications that Lindsay had been prescribed. Prosecutors were quick to point out that she was not taking all of those medications at the same time, and she only took a couple of pills of some of them before moving on and trying different medications. We also heard from hospital staff, prosecutors really trying to drive home the idea that the injuries, the self-inflicted injuries to Lindsay's neck and arms appeared superficial and not life-threatening, something that prosecutors have been talking about since opening statements last week. We also heard late, just before court wrapped for the day, about a journal that was found during a search from a home. A police officer, law enforcement, was being interviewed about this. And one of the quotes that prosecutors read from this by Lindsay Clancy: "Hearing him cry for 1+ hours and not intervening just about killed me. I even said the words, 'I want to die,' to Pat," that being Patrick Clancy, Lindsay's husband. So just a brief glimpse there into these journals, which could begin to play a lot more of a role in this testimony. We're also waiting to hear from those expert witnesses. This could all come down to expert versus expert about Lindsay Clancy's mindset and if that postpartum psychosis was active and playing a role when these killings took place. And we are on week 2, but this trial is expected to last 6 weeks or more. Gotti?
Such a tragedy all around. Stephen Romo, thank you. And tomorrow, voters in Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, and Virginia, and Washington are all going to be heading to the polls for one of the last major primaries of the 2026 election cycle. And the biggest event of the night, that is going to be the Michigan Senate Democratic primary, where establishment-backed Congresswoman Haley Stevens is taking on the progressive Abdul Al-Sayed. It's a high-stakes race that could very well change the party's direction. Progressive or moderate? Well, tonight we might find out, as Democrats need this seat in the battle to control the Senate. The winner is going to face the presumptive Republican nominee, former Congressman Mike Rogers, in November, who is currently running unopposed. And joining us now from Grand Rapids, Michigan, is NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin. Julie, great to see you. You were following Haley's campaign today. What does her closing message look like?
Yeah, she was a couple of minutes away from here in a brewery. I should note that as she was entering the venue, a group of protesters were heckling her outside about Israel, about AIPAC, Gotti, and about taking corporate money. So you could just see the contours of that race already through that before she even got into the building to address the supporters that gathered there. She opened up her line, talking in her Midwest way that's grown some affection and some criticism during the course of this race, but really selling that hard work ethic that got her to Congress in 2018. That led her to flip swing districts held by Republicans in the past, and she's bringing that forward. But the one thing that differentiates her and her opponent's message, Abdul Al-Sayed, when it comes to the Democratic policy is, of course, Israel, and that is front and center in this race. Take a listen, Gotti, to a little bit of my back and forth with her over it.
I'm doing this the Michigan way. You know, this is a tough, complicated, hard issue for a lot of people. You know, I have been very consistent. We need long-term peace. You know, Netanyahu has failed in that goal. He's attacked me by name. I very much believe in a two-state solution. My Democratic opponent doesn't. And, you know, I understand that people might disagree. But leadership in public service is also taking positions and communicating effectively and transparently. And that's how I've won 4 tough elections.
Gotti, Stevens' campaign strategy has been to essentially just not focus on that wing of the party, to not focus on the progressives. But realistically, if she does win this primary tomorrow, she's going to have to focus on them, or else the Republican might win in November. I asked her how she plans to get those votes, and she didn't answer the question. Gotti?
Yeah, that's very interesting. How do you see the results influencing the future direction of the Democratic Party everywhere?
Yeah, well, look, I covered the New York City primaries, the primaries that happened in several districts there, where you saw the insurgent candidate, the one who maybe in some cases didn't support that AIPAC money, right? That is the candidate who ended up winning in districts in New York, where Israel really isn't a local issue. You had Democratic leaders in Washington say, that's New York, that's the coast. That's not the case in the rest of the country. But in Michigan, it very well might be. I'm getting flashbacks to when I was here in 2024 and heard from the uncommitted group, the group that was frustrated that the Democrats weren't coming and talking to them and hearing them out. Today, it feels like it's even bigger than Israel and AIPAC. It's about corporate money. It's about the establishment versus the new, the young, the fresh blood. Haley Stevens is young, and yet in this case, we see, of course, her opponent, in the polls at least, outperforming her. And so she's got a lot of ground to make up. She tried to do that here in Grand Rapids. I'll mention I was looking at the makeup of the room, the voters there. They seemed a little bit older. And when you look at the support behind her and El Sayed, he is running away with the young vote.
Interesting. And of course, this is the fight before the fight. Regardless of who wins here, is this going to be an easy seat for Dems to keep in November, or is it a total toss-up?
It is a total toss-up, Gotti. Last time in 2024, when Alyssa Slotkin won the seat, she was able to hold on to it, keep it in the blue territory. But Mike Rogers ran against her then. He feels a lot better now heading into November. He's been sitting on the sidelines letting Democrats fight it out, the progressive versus the centrist. But his campaign, according to sources close to the campaign, tell me that he feels like he could have a better shot at taking on someone like El Sayed. I did ask a number of El Sayed supporters today, though, what would they do if Haley Stevens won tomorrow? And they told me they don't know. They might just sit it out in November. Gotti?
Interesting. Yeah, all or nothing, it seems. Julie Sirkin, thank you so much. And we're going to have special coverage tomorrow night as those primary results roll in. That's going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on NBC News Now. And coming up, a new front in the war between Russia and Ukraine, with Ukraine scaling up its use of drones, a sign the future of warfare has already been changing. 3 minutes. Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Why wouldn't you vote for? I think it's going to be a tough race. It is definitely going to be a tough race. It is. It's quite the existential standoff that they're having there. So yeah, you saw a little bit of the future of warfare coming up here in Ukraine and Russia. That's going to happen in the D block. And then what are we doing in the E block again? We've got Dog Surfing Championship. That's coming up. Very excited about that. And, oh, that's right. Premium theaters. Hola. Julio, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? MS, our real world already collapsed. The Holy Trinity, Kornacki, Welker, and Jackson. Lou, you said it. They are the best. I'm so sorry, guys. I got to get it all out before the show comes back here. I like this. You want to see? How do we keep from coughing when we're on air? See this? This is not mustard. Lou, sí, nací en Guatemala.
90 back.
We've got to take this honey. Whoa. 90 back. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Feel it working its effects. I also took a lot of Mucinex. But yeah, this cough has been killing me. Anybody else have this cough?
And we're back in 1 minute.
1 minute. What about Elon Musk saying money will not be necessary in 10 years because of a great bounty to come? Cheap food and products. We'll see. Maybe that'll happen. You too, Lou. Okay. Yes, it has a suppressant, and it also has that, what's that called? The breaker-upper of the mucus? The congestion.
Confirming correct?
I was not downing
30
mustard.
back.
Okay.
Right
Thanks,
here.
George.
And you're looking at the small camera.
Got it. Okay. 20 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
All good, LeBeau? All right. 10 seconds, sir.
10 seconds. Here we go. Hey, when it comes to the future of warfare, we are starting to see front lines dramatically changing, especially in Russia and Ukraine, right? And now there's a new generation of robotic weapons opening up a whole new range of possibilities in the air, on the ground, in the seas. NBC's international correspondent Matt Bradley has more.
On this narrow strip of land in the Black Sea, a new chapter in the history of warfare. The Ukrainian military releasing a video showing a naval drone landing on a beach, then launching a robotic vehicle armed with a machine gun to open fire on Russian targets nearby. It may not be on the grand scale of Allied forces storming the beaches of Normandy, but it's being widely reported as the first known fully robotic amphibious landing.
It's not easy to make robots work with other robots. It's even more difficult to have robots at sea working with robots on the land. That's tough for humans. Ukraine's showing how to do it with robotic systems.
And it's not just drone strikes from the air. They're starting to take the place of soldiers on the battlefield. Last summer, Ukraine reported carrying out a combined aerial and ground-based drone attack that captured a Russian position without risking a single casualty, taking 2 Russian soldiers prisoner after they waved a cardboard sign reading, "We want to surrender." And future missions may not even need a remote human operator. Ukraine is building AI into its drones to aid in navigation, targeting, and overcoming signal jamming, according to Washington think tank CSIS. And recently, a senior figure in the Ukrainian defense industry told the New Scientist magazine the country had already killed a Russian soldier with fully autonomous drones. The feature reportedly called Terminator Mode.
The idea of robotic systems deploying into war, killing humans, was a science fiction.
The hot military product for the next decade.
Now it's real. We're not in the world of the Terminator where they're making all their decisions on their own, but they are able to take on certain tasks on their own.
CSIS reports suggest Russia has also used fully autonomous drones on the battlefield, based on intercepted drones found without the communications hardware needed for a human operator. And its ally China also investing heavily into manufacturing AI-integrated military drones, which it's reportedly selling to buyers in the Middle East and Pakistan. The Pentagon says China is fielding growing numbers of military drones and testing autonomous drone swarms that could saturate and overwhelm traditional air defenses. The United States, not to be outdone, recently unveiling loyal wingman drones designed to fly alongside human pilots in fighter jets. But Pentagon rules officially require humans to decide how those weapons are used. Experts say we may be witnessing a revolution.
Different types of analyses are equating and the emergence of autonomous robotic systems with the emergence of gunpowder weapons and how it rendered most military forces obsolete.
The legacy of today's wars may not be who wins, but how the next one is fought.
Matt Bradley, thank you. And coming up, there is a home listing in Colorado that's getting a lot of attention. There are no pictures of it inside. You can't tour it. Oh, and the woman living in there says she is not leaving. We'll explain that coming up. Think about that drone piece. Okay, there we go. We're back. What are your thoughts on that drone piece? I think about that stuff a lot. So the most interesting part of that spot for me was when they were talking about the targeting, the target acquisition in Ukraine. That reporting suggests that, you know how in Ukraine they had all of those fiber optics that were the cables that were attached to drones so that they could avoid being jammed? Well, the reporting suggests that the Ukrainians started experimenting with this kind of like a geolocation, passes this point, this virtual boundary, and then it kicks into Terminator mode, which is basically hunt and destroy without a human in the loop. You click a button and then it is hunting down soldiers. And it's basically AI making the decision to kill. So seems, again, it's one of those things that kind of gets buried in a lot of the reporting, but like that's a very existential moment in our history when we're just turning over like the targeting, the acquisition of targeting, and the decision to kill to something that's not human. So, yeah, what do you guys think? You're not going to read these, Fly Monkey. Let's see, what are you saying? Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll read this in just a second.
And 15 to the bump, Gotti.
15. And tonight, in the future of everything, it's not a bird, it's not a plane, or even Superman. It is actually a drone carrying your prescription medication. This new program in Cleveland is delivering to your doorstep faster than ever, and NBC's Maggie Vespa shows us how.
Oh, you found him, Doctor.
Somewhere between the doctor's house calls of days gone by and flying cars of the future lives this first in modern American medicine, launching today a drone delivery pilot program from the world-renowned Cleveland Clinic. Those pills dispatched from this pharmacy fulfillment center, flying certain prescription meds to patients.
Oh my gosh. It looks like a little airplane.
Patients like Rebecca Wolkoff, who's getting her thyroid medication delivered right to her Ohio backyard.
What was that like to watch? That was super exciting. That was like probably how my kids feel about the garbage truck. I totally felt about the drone delivering it.
Like a toddler's reaction.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it's here, yay!
Bree Robinson manages the trailblazing home delivery pharmacy.
We have certain situations where our traditional carrier methods just cannot get the medication to that patient at the speed at which they need it. Having drone delivery in our arsenal is going to be really helpful.
Here's how it works. A pharmacist places a patient's prescribed meds into this drop box, prompting a drone to take off from this nearby docking station. It lowers a pod, scoops up the medicine, and flies to the patient's home.
When delivering medicine, a key advantage of these drones is speed. Obviously, traffic's not an issue, and they take off straight for your home at up to 70 miles per hour.
The technology provided by Zipline, a California-based drone startup that got its start a decade ago delivering medical supplies in Africa.
These are entirely autonomous.
They are. Deliveries that could have taken hours are now taking minutes.
The idea gaining steam nationwide, with Amazon testing a drone delivery program for medicine back in 2023, and major retailers and food delivery services already rolling out drones for consumer goods.
Your medicine's here.
My delivery's here. That's great.
The convenience a draw for Diane Haynes Windham, a wife, mom, and teacher. She needs medicine for migraines brought on by cancer treatments.
When you need this medicine, you need it.
I need it now. Yes, it takes one load off my back that I don't have to worry about.
Relief, thanks to a special delivery from the sky.
Is this the future? We're living in the future. The future is now.
Okay, so big question, who can access this? Well, right now, this pilot program is limited to Cleveland Clinic patients who opt into it. And by the way, it comes at no extra cost to them. But the Cleveland Clinic says they plan to expand in the coming months and years. More broadly, Zipline, the drone startup, they say they're working with more than 10 major healthcare systems to launch similar programs across the U.S. Back to you.
Oh, wow. Maggie Vespa, fascinating. I remember 10 years ago, we first met with Zipline in a field in California. They were dropping things with parachutes. Now drones lowering down the medication. Wild to see what the last 10 years has brought. Thank you so much for that report. And now to this bizarre story out in Colorado. There's this Zillow listing that has gone viral for its terms, and it reads, property sold is sight unseen, no access inside property, and then get this, sold with occupant inside. Spencer Soiker from NBC's Denver has this one.
No interior photos, sold sight unseen,
No inspection allowed. Do not disturb the occupants.
The ad is unreal, right? Who would buy a home, sight unseen, with an occupant still in it?
Tori McMeechan is the occupant, mentioned in a bizarre and startling Zillow listing for a home in Nunn, Colorado, which tells people if you buy it, it's your job to get them out. Would someone be able to get you out?
It's going to be pretty difficult. I'm not leaving willingly.
Tori's husband died in a car crash amidst a nasty political dispute in town. People in Nunn know that story. People online just know the listing.
This is the last thing that my husband bought for me before he passed. This is where I raised my children.
This property has been part of foreclosure cases for more than 15 years.
The bank that has been unwilling to work with me as a surviving spouse.
Tori says her husband's name was on the loan agreement and claims the bank wouldn't speak to her or accept her payment because of it. So she hasn't paid rent since.
We took out the loan, the actual loan on this house in '06. In 15 years, 2021, this home would have been paid off.
Tori's been successfully able to appeal over and over again in court until she recently lost a Court of Appeals decision, and the listing went up.
I don't know what else you do. I've had 3 attorneys that could not even get this straightened out. So what do you do?
Her last hope, she says, to be evicted, relying on a 2024 change to state law that guarantees evicted tenants a right to a jury trial.
We put a lot of work into this property.
She's still got pride in where she calls home. And with the listing up, she jokes she's not a half-bad roommate.
I'm staying. They can come on in, but I'm not leaving.
Quite the outlook, and we'll see if that ends up in a trial. I mean, it just seems like that woman should at least have the option to take it before a jury. Spencer, thank you. Still to come, a look at a growing trend of fans are choosing for more unique experiences to enjoy the latest blockbusters on the big screen. But first, you got to see this. It was a bunch of hounds hanging 10, and it all happened this last weekend at the 10th annual World Dog Surfing Championships here in California. The canine surfers were judged on the length of the ride, the size of the wave, confidence, balance, and extra tricks. You can teach an old dog some new tricks, I guess. Look at those furry little guys just shredding the gnar. We'll be right back. Man. And I kind of learned. Not great, but I can surf with those dogs. Muted? Darn it. Dog surfing. That's all I need for the rest of my life. It's really cool. It's you should take a look if you ever get a chance. The videos are amazing. Where's my mug? Which one? We got 2 of them. Oh, yeah. Wait, there were some interesting things going on. How about a war? It's just the bots against the bots. No lives lost. Interesting thought. We talked to the CEO of Foundation, which is a company. You might have seen the package. We did it like a couple weeks ago, and he was pretty open about like how he wants the future to go. He wants it to be an economic war, and that's exactly what he was talking about. He was like, "Look, we should build humanoid robot armies, and they should go up against whoever we're fighting's humanoid robot armies, and that's going to be a lot of economic damage, and then whoever wins is like, okay, fine, we stop." Is that going to happen? I don't know. Is that better than humans dying? Yeah, but then like, why do you even, I don't know. Anyway, we're a weird species. Here we go. And finally tonight, it looks like the movies are officially back, especially after that record-breaking weekend we just saw. But some moviegoers are even going beyond the IMAX or the 3D screenings in favor of the immersive and maybe a little intense 4DX. Have you heard about this? Yeah, it's pretty wild. And with two major summer blockbusters, Chloe Melas takes a look. I want you to choose me.
As fans embark on their Christopher Nolan's latest epic, we're seeing the Odyssey in 4DX. The ones brave enough to view the film in 4DX are going viral. 4DX is a multi-sensory theater experience with special effects that fully immerse you in the movie. The world's biggest and busiest 4DX theater is at this Regal Cinema in Times Square, so I had to give it a try.
I'm wondering how wet am I gonna get? Oh my gosh.
Get ready.
Okay, that was wind. Oh, and I just got punched in the back. It's like being on a roller coaster. Oh my God, okay.
We have two 4DX auditoriums, including the world's largest 4DX, and we are consistently selling out. So the 4DX is an immersive experience, so there's a lot of elements that go into it. You do have some wind nozzles there that could spray.
So these are wind nozzles?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they were buttons. Ooh, okay. 4DX theaters have up to 13 different environmental effects, like snow or fog, from rolling to tickling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one startles people the most.
Yeah. It takes about 2 weeks for 4DX producers to design the plan for each film. To get the Odyssey right, the team watched the movie at least 10 times, rewatching some scenes more than 100 times to nail the effects. The growing popularity of premium large formats like 4DX comes as movie theaters are rebounding, with this year's domestic box office projected to hit $10 billion for the first time since the pandemic, according to Rentrack. The Odyssey sent fans into a frenzy, desperate for IMAX tickets, and the limited number of IMAX screens creating a traffic jam for studios. The Odyssey blocking Spider-Man Brand New Day from IMAX and Doom Part 3, doing the same to Avengers Doomsday later this year.
Far stronger.
All paving the way for film distributors to embrace IMAX competitors like CJ 4Dplex, the company behind 4DX and ScreenX, which gives moviegoers an extended 270-degree view.
The premium formats has really led the revival of cinema. This year we're looking in premium formats being up a total of 19%.
While fans can't watch Spider-Man Brand New Day in IMAX, they can watch it in 4DX and ScreenX.
This is the first film that was shot for ScreenX specifically. We had additional cameras on all principle of photography capturing 180-degree spectrum.
We need a new name for cinema. Chloe Melas, thank you so much. That's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Gotti Schwartz. We'll see you here tomorrow. But until then, stay tuned to NBC News Now. No worries. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. I swear my eyes get laser burn at the theater. It makes them red. Peace bucks. I'm sorry about that. Wear some glasses. Stay with the serving dogs. Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys. Asta, tomorrow. We'll see you. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, take care, everybody.